Don't go anywhere. This is Jen Eggert of LackyKid.com, and I'm here with Ask an Autism Mom. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Ask an Autism Mom. I'm Jen Eggert of LackyKid.com, and you can join me every Monday to meet parents, share your insights, and learn some tips. I'm welcoming all of you today. Today, we're actually going to be talking about our senses in day-to-day living. If you know someone who could use these tips, go ahead and share this video on your timeline now or tag them in the comments below. I want to welcome those of you watching live on Facebook, listening to the podcast on iTunes or YouTube. And if you want, you can get alerts to join us live and ask questions live. You can visit lackykid.com/live. Just want to welcome everyone. I know the bot post many chat posts to let you know that the show is starting came a little bit late today. So I'm just going to give everyone a minute to join. Today we are talking about our senses and how it affects day-to-day living. Hi, Angela. Welcome to today's show. So if you're just joining us, you're listening to Ask an Autism Mom, and we're talking about how to deal with day-to-day living. Now, today's show is brought to you, of course, by LackyKid.com, where you can get quality sensory tools for a affordable price. I'm going to show one of my favorite items right now we have available. This, let me try and get not so much glare, is our I Love Someone with Autism sticker. These can go anywhere, folks. If you have those metal Yeti Arctic type cups, those, I have seen it put on a cosmetology bottle. I have seen them hung from Christmas trees. I have seen them placed in wreaths. Of course, the typical, they can go on your car. My son has one on his school laptop for his sister. He also has one on the back of his cell phone. So these stickers are amazing and can go anywhere. I'm considering doing a challenge soon. So if you want to be part of the challenge, you're going to need stickers, but I'm going to challenge people to find the most unique place to place a Lackey Kid sticker. Hi, Angela. Janelle, welcome. So today we're talking about senses and day-to-day living. Janelle, I'm so happy this is the first live you've made it for. And yes, the stickers can go on mailboxes. I forgot that one, Angela. Now, Angela White, I feel this show is great for you. It's stuff that we've talked about a lot. And I actually have some of your advice tacked in at the end. So senses in day-to-day living. Every day we use our senses for everything. I want you to think about it for a minute. Everything we do relies on our senses. Now, the breakdown is there are 5 basic senses: vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. When one sense is damaged, other senses work hard to compensate for them. Now I'm going to break down each sense just a little bit and make it a little easier to understand. Vision. Vision is the ability to see and visualize our world. If your eyes are open, you're using your vision. Touch. No matter where you are always touching something. Your body on the bed, your feet are on the floor. There's always a point of contact between yourself and your body, unless you are in a anti-gravity situation, which is rare and highly doubtful for most of us. Now, touch can be extremely pleasing or extremely painful for the same touch, depending on the person and situation. Even a simple haircut can be painful for some of our kids. Taste. Everything that goes in your mouth will affect your taste buds. Trust me. I tried opening Riley's soap yesterday with my teeth. Oh my goodness, the soap is disgusting. Your taste buds tell you if something is sweet, sour, bitter, spicy, and so on. Then we have hearing. Hearing is the ability to listen to the world around you and take in all of the sounds. Now I want you to remember the world is full of sound. You're almost never not hearing anything again unless you're in one of those chambers, hyperbaric type chambers, but you're probably still hearing hissing. The sounds that we hear commonly would be birds, animals, people talking, music, vehicles and machines. Even the wind makes a wide variety of sound. Smell. Almost everything has a smell. Some smells can be very overpowering to hardly smelling at all. So now we're going to talk about what all of this means. People with autism and SPD are often overwhelmed or underwhelmed by their senses. Most people do not mind the feeling of grass on their feet, but for some, it can be very painful. Some of our kids we know can't deal with the bright lights. Autism can make simple sensory things just way too much for our kids like ours. When these sensory experiences become too much for our children, that is when we see them fall into those meltdown stages. The meltdown is often a response to something becoming extremely overwhelming. They cannot handle everything coming at them at once. And remember, in a sensory environment, everything comes at you at once. Right now, just sitting here, I hear my computer humming. I have a bright light in my face. I hear my dogs playing outside. I hear the noise outside of my home. I feel the chair I am sitting in the stool I have my feet propped up on. So constantly getting that input from all the senses around us can become quite challenging for our children. Remember, it is impossible to just turn off your senses. You can't just close your eyes and shut out the world, even if you really, really want to some days. Now, how can you help your child? How do we help our kids navigate this loud, rough, smelling, bright, and sometimes nasty tasting world? We can always limit what we're exposed to, but what kind of life is limiting everything you're exposed to? I know kids that would never leave their rooms sitting on their bed with their iPad if they limited what they could not handle. We as parents often end up playing the role of buffer in these situations. We kind of go between our child and the world and protect our child from these outside stimulations that the world presents to us. We can give them glasses, noise canceling headphones, watch their limited diet. In my case, I watch my daughter gag every time an overwhelming smell hits her. We can provide them with tools like wiggle seats and lap pads and fidget bands. We can provide everything in the world, but it's not always going to help, unfortunately. So first, you need to make a list of things that are known to extremely overwhelm them. And what I would do on that list is I would write down everything that overwhelms your child. And then I would break it down. These things are mild. This area is moderate, and this area is extremely severe, overwhelming for my child. So that way, you kind of know where you need to buffer, where you need to provide these extra sensory tools to help them through and whatnot. Now, first, you want to share this information with your child's therapists. Your child's therapist can work on things such as desensitization, which is a fancy term for gradually working through this overstimulation. So they will allow them to do small bouts of less light. Let's say I have a light in front of me right now for the show. Say they can't handle bright lights. Well, they would turn it on low for a short period of time. And then they would go higher and higher as your child could tolerate it to help them work through it. Now, desensitization does work, but like everything, it does not work for everyone. Work with your educational team. This is huge. If your child is in preschool, school, any type of educational setting, you need to work with them to avoid triggers or learn coping skills. By learning coping skills, you will make their lives and, in essence, your lives easier. How will your life become easier? Because, again, we're that buffer, we're that shield that protects our child. So if we help them learn to cope with this world, then we don't have to quite buffer so much, and we are not so physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted. Now, you will see when your child learns these coping skills, this desensitization, you will see that there are less meltdowns, better sleep habits, better eating habits, and maybe, just maybe, more social interactions. We found that last week we brought Riley to the doctor, eye doctor, and we know she has glasses. She's had them for a year, and we felt that they were only for reading because that's what we were told last year. We went in, and it was a bit of a joke. Dave went first and was told that his vision has gotten so bad he needs bifocals. So, of course, there's that laughing, joking, oh, you're getting old, you need bifocals. And the joke is Dave is actually 3 years younger than I am, so it really was my chance to joke about his age for once. What I didn't realize was that my daughter was in the room listening to everything, like usual. When she started doing her eye test, it was going well. And then we realized that Riley's eye muscles are getting a lot weaker. And her eye doctor and I were discussing her eye muscles getting weaker. And she whispered something to me and she goes, but I find Riley's hearing's getting better. So her hearing is actually compensating for her vision problems. Now, unfortunately for Riley, this does mean she needs what they call baby bifocals. It's a little bubble that's going to go in the middle of her lens to help her see better, and she needs to wear them 24/7. But in that case, we really saw that other things are taking over because the muscles in her eyes are getting so weak that her hearing is taking over. So our hope is that once we get these new glasses on her, she will go back to being that happy little girl at school. We know she's been struggling at school, not educationally, but socially. And her eye doctor feels it's because her eyesight is so shot right now, she can't get that clarity. Now, I want you to remember to take away unnecessary expectations. Now, Angela, this is for you, Angela White. Take away unnecessary expectations. Like, say we're going to Grandma's house for dinner. I don't like hugging people, so I don't. But why am I going to force my daughter to hug people if she can't handle it and it's something I don't do because I don't want to do? So we need to take away that expectation of they have to do everything because it's social norms. If they can't do it, don't expect it of them because it will cause a meltdown. It will cause them to pull back into themselves. It can honestly, and I'm not joking here, if you force certain things during social interaction, such as hugging, and stuff like that, force small talk, you could actually pull your child more further away from this wanting to socially interact. So you could be doing them a huge disservice and make them want to stop. So if it's something your child's uncomfortable with, don't feel bad saying, oh no, he's not going to hug anyone. Now, I got that little tidbit from Angela White one day. We were discussing how she doesn't expect her children to do things because she can't do them. So why are we expecting our kids to do things we can't do? I want to leave you with that question today. So if you feel that there's something that your child, struggling with, don't force them to do it unless it is necessary. But hugging grandma and all the aunts and uncles, especially great aunt Sue, we only see once every 4 years, don't force it, guys. Now, are there any questions by anyone today? I know we have a small group. I know a lot of people watch this on reruns. Remember, if you're watching this on a rerun, you can go to our new landing page and check it out. I will explain more about that at the end of the show. I am going to I'll give the landing page real quick, but I'm not done the show yet, so don't leave. So the landing page is lackykid.com/ask. You see it scrolling across your screen right now. That is where you can actually go to learn more about our shows, see blogs, and you can actually go there and ask me questions that I will try to answer on an upcoming show. Someone please go and try that feature out for me. Ask me a question. I would love to start getting questions on there to answer on upcoming shows. Hi, Michelle. So sorry you made it at the end of the show, but hopefully you can go back and watch it from the beginning later. I feel it is important. Today's show talks about sensories, different sensory things. I break down the senses, and I talk about how it affects our day-to-day living and how we can help. So if you missed the beginning of our show, please go back and watch when you get a chance. And again, I'm challenging you to go to our new landing page and ask me a question. I want to see who's going to bring up the first question on the new landing page. I don't know. So I also have another thing I want to bring up today real quick. If you have tried any of I just caught that. Yes, Angela. Angela's talking about autonomy is so important. We will actually do a post today in group, if you remind me, because I'll probably forget because I have a migraine. But autonomy, I want to break down what autonomy is and why it is so important. But Angela has been one of the ones in the background pushing me to talk about this stuff, to talk about these skills and this autonomy, why it is so important and why we need to address it and address it quickly. So, if you've tried any of our amazing products, I am asking you to please go to our Facebook page and write us a review. Every review written gets us seen by more and more people that we would not normally get seen by. So that really helps us reach other autism families that could use this information. I want you to think back to when you first saw my show for the first time and how you felt and when you first joined our community of our Lackey Kid family. So think about that and think about the fact that if you just leave one little review on a product that you've tried of ours, one little review, you may reach families that do not right now know about us. So that is huge for us, folks. We would love and appreciate reviews both on our Lackey Kid page and on our Amazon page. I know Amazon is a bit prickly sometimes, so some people can't leave reviews on there, but we appreciate each and every single review. Just like I appreciate each and every single share, tag, comment, like, love, everything. It shows me that I'm doing my job right, and I really am reaching you guys as autism families. Sorry, my head hurts. Remember, autism is a very lonely journey, and it's tiring, and it's emotionally exhausting, and it's mentally exhausting. And if there were a chance you could help us reach other families by reviewing, tagging, sharing, liking. Would you not feel wonderful if you found out another mom and dad found us and were able to get the support that they needed thanks to your simple action? So please, I'm begging you, help us reach more families. It's simple, like, tag, share, review, comment on any of the things that we put on our Lackey Kid page. Review our products when you buy them. That is the biggest, because the more products reviewed, the more products we will actually be able to bring you, which is exciting. We have a exciting new product coming out very soon that I can't wait to talk about soon. Actually get my sample of it tomorrow. I'm excited. Angela, I agree. When you have 3 kids with autism, it is extremely difficult. So let's do what we can to help the autism community find the love and support that they need and that they can find with our Lackey Kid family. So now I'm going to wrap up today's show. Unfortunately, I would love to see all of you in my group later today. It is lackykid.com/group. You can join. If you get the prompt to answer questions, please, 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 Angela King is begging you, please answer the questions. It makes her job as allowing people into the group so much easier. I know Angela's probably sitting there giggling, saying, yes, it does. So I want to thank you all. Remember, I need you guys to like, share, tag, write reviews, help us help others. Now you can also visit our new landing page. Remember, I want to see who's going to come up with the very first question on our landing page. Angela's saying, yes, please answer the questions. So go to our landing page to get more information and to leave me a question. Who will leave me the first question? You can get more information and even ask questions, which I will try and answer on an upcoming show. The landing page is lackykid.com/ask. Thanks, guys. Bye.